Rogers TV, Greig County.
Hello and welcome to the special edition COVID-19 Rogers television program dedicated to providing you and your family with information regarding the resources and services available to you during this pandemic. My name is Carol Merton, and before I welcome our guests to the program, for those of you who watch the program regularly, you know that I like to say a few words of thanks at the very, very beginning. So as we move through phase 2 of the reopening of our province, we are celebrating the lifting of some of the restrictions that public health has placed upon us and are hopeful that we can continue to move through phase 3 of the plan. Significant attention to the details required to keep the public and employees safe is very clear and very obvious in the businesses and services that are reopening. But they need our support to follow their instructions and their directions as we keep working together to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Everywhere we look, there are positive signs of recovery in the faces of loved ones, friends, and neighbors who are able to meet, greet, and participate in their own unique social bubbles. We know that the situation is fluid and we must stay vigilant to be able to continue to experience and enjoy the relaxation of some of these restrictions. We also know, however, that this situation can change quickly as the number of COVID-19 cases continues to be monitored closely by public health. Without a doubt, we in our community have forged new linkages, unique and unexpected alliances and networks as we continue to meet the needs of our community in this pandemic. We're all anxious to have our lives get back to normal, and we know that the normal looks very different than it did a few months ago. We are anxious to move forward, and those on the front lines are weary. Thank you to all in our community who continue to provide the supports and services needed, to the Public Health Medical Officer of Health and the Public Health Unit staff, all of our frontline, essential, and community support services for their ongoing efforts to keep us safe. We will get through this together, and we will be stronger than ever. And on that note, I am delighted to welcome a guest to the program today, Scott Greig. Scott is the owner of Runner's Den here in Owen Sound. And Scott is going to be talking about his business and how he adapted to the new way of doing business and how he's moving through the recovery strategies to be able to get the business open again. Scott, thank you for joining me today. This is great.
Hi, Carol. It's wonderful to be part of the show today, and my wife Tracey and I are proud owners here at Runner's Den. But this is live and direct from the shop, so I don't think we're going to get her on camera unless she's reaching for a shoebox behind me. She's on the sales floor while I'm on the show.
That's quite okay. You just tell her that we miss her presence, but we absolutely understand. It is business, you know.
Right. And we're thankful and blessed for it.
Yes, absolutely. So, Scott, maybe you can tell us just a little bit about your business, how long you've been with the business here in Owen Sound, and then what happened when COVID-19 hit?
Sure. We opened in 2006, and we were a little south of our present location, which is at the intersection of 8th Street and 2nd Avenue East, right downtown. We've been at this location for 7 years. The store is quite well known for the congregation of running groups and power walkers that we have through various times of the year, and really every week of the year, every Saturday morning. They make good use of the frog pond afterwards, the market, and we often like to say it's Owen Sound's little young and bluer. It's a little bubble of athleticism and fitness and health and wellness and positive lifestyle that we've been a part of at the corner.
So just explain to me, is this part of your business? Is this something that you're actively involved in, the runners groups?
Under normal conditions, it is. And right up until when we were forced to close around March 25th-ish, I think around the 18th or 21st, we had our last group run. At that time, we still had athletes holding out hope that their races would still be still going on in May or June. And disappointment, obviously, for many people that worked hard through the winter with the training, whether it was for the Boston Marathon or to various locales in Ontario and various distances. But our last clinic night between 8th Street and 10th Street on a popular athletic app called Strava, we mapped out a run, and the group of us stay safely apart, and we spelled out COVID-19 in Owen Sound on satellite, and it was uber cool. It was really expressive in terms of how it mapped, and it showcased really well. So that was actually the last clinic run that we've been able to have until we get the green light to move forward again.
So in your business, then you sell a product, but you also provide a service, correct?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and our run groups actually facilitate a little bit of a test lab for us in terms of what we do here and providing a high level of customer service and insightful knowledge and guidance to the right type of footwear for people. We're able to draw upon our experience running with people and really kind of take imaging of their biomechanics when they're out in the field with us, out running, training, power walking, and then we can apply that for injury prevention or aches and pains that they may have, or just getting them in the right shoe so they're comfortable in their endeavors.
Right. So because of the location of your store and the services that you offer, you actually bring people downtown.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really sheds a positive image. I think that we're all together on this, trying to build and extend that positivity downtown. And we're glad to be part of it. Even on rainy nights.
Even on
really super snowy nights. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, I know for sure there have been times when I popped into the Frog Pond on a Saturday morning, and it is a real gathering spot for people who get the refreshments after they've done their workout. So, it's actually quite enjoyable to see. So, as a small business located within a city, you're part of an association, are you? A downtown association? How does it link to the larger business location?
I mean, as a business owner, we want to be successful, but we want every other shop around us to be successful, and we want to initiate activities that are positive for us, but on a grander scale, because it's other people's success downtown that will ultimately elevate our likelihood of success. So what you do, you hope to be able to share best practices or things in common. And Owen Sound is a regional draw, and we hope to have the provision of enough services downtown to keep people coming downtown to serve shops, including ours.
So tell me about the impact of COVID-19. So your store had to close. So walk me through what you did. Did you change your business model? Did you, what happened?
Yeah, how to respond. Well, I think every business likes to think of themselves as essential. But we were not deemed essential. So we were forced to close. To expedite our website development is a considerable job, but it was one that we were undertaking in March. We're actually actively looking at a new point of sale software system, which we did purchase in April, and we've initiated here in the store just a few weeks ago. But our old point of sale was something that we've got a significant database on hand. So we were able to still accommodate some resource capabilities using the online, the web store. But we had for sure a significant amount of phone calls and email inquiries from people who literally they're saying, I may not know my issue, but you do. You know and have looked after my needs for many years, and you just let me know the methodology that you could put those shoes in my hand, and whether it was curbside or home delivery, we were ready to facilitate. I like to say even the one Friday night I dropped off a pair of sunglasses via Cannondale out in Annan, so that's kind of fun when you can take the road bike out and get some training in while you're doing some delivery at the same time.
That really is putting practice into theory, isn't it? And vice versa.
Yeah.
So the COVID-19 pandemic actually pushed what you were already planning on doing further along down the road, right? From a business perspective?
Yeah, because for a lot of business people in the small business, you do everything. You are the accountant, you are the sales and marketing team, you are janitorial, custodial staff in your business, your repair, maintenance, IT, software. You're trying to wear all these hats in the day-to-day success of your business. And, it's unfortunate, but in a way you need these downtimes that are forced upon you to be able to respond and be able to proactively look after your business on a go-forward basis. It's always hard to find that necessary time day to day. So for ourselves and a lot of businesses, this was the opportunity and a catalyst to invest more so in your business and in your future. And we were no different than many people and just seized that opportunity.
Yeah. So you use technology even more than you would normally have used it. Is that correct?
Yeah. And we left it open for customers. You appreciated any sale you got when your store's closed a lot. And,
yeah.
The level of service was never too much. There was times when we were spending 90 minutes or 2 hours conducting a sale, and we were using photographs of lower limbs and foot types and biomechanics, video if people had video and they wanted to email it to us, and we're trying to assess via the computer and nail that shoe choice down without ever seeing the customer. So it was very laborious and time, a lot of time invested in some of the sales, but it was worthwhile. The end of the day, every sale that you got was precious, and you just tried to get one day closer to the end of this, and when the doors were open again.
Yeah. So you would do online sales. How did you get the product, other than you delivering it on a bike ride? How did you get the product to people who weren't in Owen Sound, per se?
There was the various times when we would just take 3 or 4 different shoes in a box and drop it off at a person's house. And at that point, for me, I'm like, if they return the shoes and pay me for one of them, that's awesome. The alternative is if my store is closed and they keep all 4, what am I really out, eh? You're just going to whatever you could do. And if they were within a reasonable distance and it meant dropping off a choice and picking it up another 4 or 5 days after, we were happy to do that.
Now, you mentioned curbside as well. So you offered the opportunity for people to order their shoes, and then you would just set it outside for them to pick up, or?
Yeah, essentially. I think I called it knock, grab, and dash, I think maybe. We have a convenient side door on 8th Street, so a customer would literally just phone, say they're parked outside, and we could just place the product in the alcove and away they go. So
Did you have any challenge actually getting product? Some businesses relied on people providing. How about you? Did you have any problem with stock?
We had some minor issues. We only had one, actually, no, sorry, two brands who's in Ontario with their warehouses. They acknowledged the provincial mandate and stopped shipping. So when we ran out of those footwear options, and everybody did.
Yeah.
So they just weren't moving product. Other brands were still moving it, but they, as soon as it happened, the brands, when they're shipping orders of 60 or 80 or 150 pair of shoes in the spring, the last thing they want is to have it go to a closed store and then go back onto the courier truck. So what the big brands did is take all those pre-booked orders from a year ago or 9 months out and just put stop holds on them. So a lot of the orders that were being shipped we're just placing the orders that we are needing at 4, 6, or 8 or 10 pair at a time. But a lot of the big orders, unless you specifically acknowledge through your rep or through the brand that, hey, you know what, ship it. I'm here. It's not going to go back onto the delivery truck and be an inconvenience. We didn't have problems. It's everybody's bought a bike this year. I mean, we're fortunate. Bike shops are sold out. It's crazy. Yeah. If they don't make the bike in China, a component is. So the cycling industry is different than the running shoe industry. The running shoe brands were really just sitting on so much product coming into warehouse that I know some of the brands were having to rent additional warehouses to put the product in. They're just waiting for the shops to open so they can get the product flowing.
Yes, and that's one thing that I've noticed is more people are out and about. I mean, they're doing physical things that they may or may not have either had time, or they're either that or just so darn bored at home. They have to do something.
Yeah.
So we do think of supply chains, and it's not just supplying a product to the customer, it's for the store to actually get the supply as well. So what happened when you got the news that you could start to open? How did you change, or what did you do to ensure you were following the restrictions and precautions by public health?
We're fairly fortunate. Years ago, we happened just to have N95 masks at home that I bought. My wife bought, but we've had them at the house for 18 years, so we had adequate masks. We were able to get hand sanitizer through one of our suppliers. We had key components to being able to facilitate a healthy workplace, both for us and for the customers, and then take an extra step. So, you're cleaning all your common touch points. But we have a washroom facility that we're happy to, we're not looking to discriminate on anybody that comes in the shop, and people have human needs, and if a request is made for a washroom facility, we have it. We could provide it, and we keep the one main door open. They just have to close the one door, and we're fortunate in the place we're in that we can accommodate that. Yeah. So when you currently with your business, do you wear masks when you're serving customers? Like how do you meet those requirements? Because social distancing is one thing, but you might need to be closer than the social distance requirements. Yeah, we do, because we do. Some people you can stand back and assess fairly quickly as to where you're going to go with the shoe choice, but others, and they might be medical referral who are coming in here, and you're working at a much higher level of proximity to them, and you're assessing and measuring the feet. So we're wearing masks, and a lot of our customers are wearing masks. We don't feel it's mandated upon our customers to wear it, but we wear it ourselves as a precautionary measure.
Right, right. So certainly the word is getting out to the public about wearing masks. You're right, it's not mandatory at this point, but it protects you, it protects both ways, really.
It,
Yeah,
it's one media, right? So I mean, I likened it early on to if you bought pulp orange juice by mistake at the grocery store. Um, you might not remove all the pulp by running it through a mesh strainer, but
yeah,
you do lessen the amount of product that's going to go through. And I think of the air in a lot of the same light.
yeah,
Might not be perfect, but it's a positive step that you're taking.
yeah, yeah. So there's no doubt it's been very stressful for small businesses, for any businesses, really.
Yeah.
What supports did you have as a business owner? How did you reach out, and how did others reach out to you to support you through this?
Well, I think the financial industry in general was doing well to work with a lot of businesses. I guess we were somewhat fortunate. We were not prepared, or I don't think you're ever prepared for something like this. I don't care if you're a small business or you've got 48,000 employees like a major airline. You don't have the kind of cash reserves to prepare for something like the government just instantaneously shutting your workplace down. But I found the financial institutions early on, middle of March. The red flags went up, and Boeing in the United States was drawing down a line of credit, which was I forget what it was, $20 billion or something like that, and they were diving down completely on it. And it's like, whoa! I mean, geez, it's coming now. So try to get ahead of this a little bit and get yourself prepared for what might be a little bit of a dark day coming.
Yeah.
So, I think the government tried to get the financial mechanisms in place to support businesses. We have a landlord here that was very amenable to and understanding to the instantaneous factors that came into place. I mean, all of a sudden you go from spring, which is a great time of year for us in our business, to next to zero in sales. It's nice to have a landlord that's appreciative of the instant change in direction there.
Absolutely. So at the moment, are you limited to the number of people that you can have in the store at any one time? We're in phase 2, right?
We're kind of crawling our way out of that. We have I operate in about 1,800 square feet. 1,500 is quite readily usable. So in terms of the persons per square meter and so forth, I'd love to be so busy that they line up in the street outside or like a bank, but we haven't had that issue. Early on when we reopened end of May, we had some busyness to the store, but we were also always able to safely spread people out. We moved our fitting benches in the store to be further apart, so everything's gapped really well. And we have this really neat feature in our store, which is a running track. And there's something nomadic about human nature where people just see a running track and they identify with going counterclockwise in it. So I don't know in the last 7 years how many people have walked around our store in a clockwise fashion, but it's not many. There is just a recognition to that running track, and people come in and you go in a counterclockwise circle. You don't have to be in the Olympics or training for the Olympics. It's just something that's born in us, I think. So
isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and we also benefit. We've got 2 doors, so we have a sign in the front door politely asking if customers would consider coming in our side door, exit through the front door. Our payment facilities are at the front, so it just maximizes our gapping that much more.
Yeah. And as far as payment, some businesses prefer not to use cash. that they prefer other electronic means. From your perspective, is there an advantage of one over the other? Do you have a preference?
Well, going to the banks at various times is a little bit of anxiety for people. So I guess my only preference is, debit card is the lowest cost on small businesses. Credit cards, some particular points cards carry high percentage penalties. So, a contactless payment is great, but I am absolutely a fervent advocate for cash. Cash needs to be a part of our society, absolutely. And, we'll gladly take cash. All you have to do is follow the advice of our medical officer of health and handle the cash and wash your hands. It's not complex. It's not astrophysics that's going on here. It's just basic hygiene. So,
Yes.
I'm totally fine with taking all as a payment.
So I know we just have a few minutes left in the program. What will you continue as a result of COVID-19 as far as your business model? A lot of people tell me that, yes, it's a dark cloud, but there's a silver lining around this. What would you continue doing that you've had to adapt to because of COVID-19?
Well, the new point of sale software that we've purchased is going to leverage our website and make us that much more efficient from an operational standpoint and free up resources. So anytime you get a chance to, invest in things that'll make you more efficient and productive, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. This is going to help us moving forward, and it's going to really tether us better right from our brands through the store right to the website. Everything's going to be that much more integrated. It's an ongoing job that's probably a little larger when your background's not in IT or software development. But you keep plugging away at it, and you'll kind of get closer to where you want to be. And that's where we are. It's a long-term investment for the business. It's a strategy for survival in the future. Scott, I want to thank you very much for being on the program. It's really informative to know how people adapt and change to an emergency situation like we've all been through. Thank you so much, and all the best to you and to your wife, Tracey, who's manning the fort while you're on the program. Thank you to our viewing audience as well. Please stay tuned to learn more about resources and services available to you and to your family during this pandemic. Take care, stay safe, and care for each other. Thank you.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Allison.
Coming up this week on The Parenting Show, we're talking about sibling rivalry.
We've got solutions to stop those kids from fighting.
That's right here on Rogers TV.
September 20th, 2007.
January the 9th, 2003.
December 14th, 2013.
On August the 13th, 2009, Dr. Ian McGilvray and his